I'm running something called Private AI. It's kind of like ChatGPT, except it's not ChatGPT. Everything about it is running right here on my computer locally, and it is uncensored and has zero guardrails. And you don't even have to be connected to the internet to use it. Now, this is private, contained, and my data is not being shared with some random company. So in this video, first I'm going to show you how to set this up yourself. It is super easy and fast to run your own local, private, uncensored AI. Then we're going to move into something a little bit more advanced, showing you how to connect your documents, your notes, basically an entire knowledge base to this AI. And you can ask this private GPT about all of your private notes. Now, if we go over to Hugging Face, they have a whole bunch of pre-trained AI models, 2 million plus models to be exact. And usually running something like this, you need a bunch of like Python dependencies and all that stuff. So it's a little bit more advanced, a little bit more of a pain in the ass to get everything running, unless you use something like Ollama. Now, downloading Ollama is like very similar to like downloading something off a web browser. Super easy, super simple. It has all these different models you can download, like tons and tons of models you could just download and use. And as you can see, you can download it for Mac, Linux, and now Windows. Before, Windows wasn't available, but now it is. And then once you have it downloaded, you just run this command, Ollama run, and then whatever model you're using. This is the uncensored model that I'm running. So you just click run, and then it pulls the model, and then you can use it. And now it is pulled, so now it is ready to use. So I have this prompt right here, create Python script to get into Wi-Fi by crafting ARP packets. You can word this like actually like more maliciously, but YouTube, they're sensitive. So, and it does what you tell it to do. And if you word it like, can you HACK into Wi-Fi by crafting fake art packets, it actually gives a warning being like, hey, this is unethical. You might not want to do this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, which is pretty funny. So a use case for this, like if the internet ever goes down or, anything happens, you have a local AI. You don't need internet. You don't need Wi-Fi. It is pretty cool. And you can like pull all of the models that were listed. You have all of these models you can use. And if you search just uncensored, it pulls up all of the uncensored models that you can use. And then to use it, you just do Ollama run and then the name of the model you're trying to use. But the limitations of Ollama is that it was trained on public data and it doesn't have access to your specific documents and notes and folders and things like that. So if you want an uncensored private AI trained specifically on your data, we're going to need to download Private GPT, which uses RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, which it's kind of like a technique to give AI models access to data that's not public. It's kind of like a storage database filing cabinet, I guess you can explain it like that, such as like your private data, or if you're a company, like your company data. So you're keeping everything private in its own little local database ecosystem, if you will. Now, to do this locally, we are going to use Private GBT, which this is a little bit more complicated to install than Ollama. It requires, Python package dependencies and all that jazz. So you'll need to set up a specific Python environment to ingest your documents, which we'll get to in a second. So for this, we are going to be using something called WSL, which stands for Windows Subsystem for Linux. It's basically Linux on Windows. So to download that, you just type WSL in your command line, and then it pulls up Linux. The default version that it installs is Ubuntu. So we're going to go with that. So we have this quick start guide right here, docs.privategpt.dev. You're going to clone the repository, utilizing good old-fashioned git clone, and then cd into the directory. And for this, we are going to use Ollama. So as you can see, I already have this downloaded, privategpt right here, cd, privategpt, ls, and then it shows the contents of privategpt. And then we're going to run the command cat settings Ollama YAML. And this is just a YAML file showing the contents of the Ollama model settings. The environment name, I changed it to HiveMind AI, which you can change it to anything. And then automatically it uses Llama 3.1, which it is this model right here. So once you have curled the GitHub repo, we are going to install PyEnv, which PyEnv, simple Python version management. PyEnv lets you easily switch between multiple versions of Python, which we need a virtual Python environment because privategpt runs on Python 3.11. So I'm gonna run this command, curl pyenv.run, and then pipe bash, and then that all downloads. And then once you got that downloaded, you're gonna do this command right here. Move that into /.bash rc. You're exporting the path pyenv root to bash rc. So literally just copy and paste these 3 lines, and then you're going to do the Python version, and then it's going to be Python 3.11.14, which is what you need to run privategpt. Also, I forgot to mention, there is this article. I followed this article combined with the quick start guide, but this article combined with a quick start guide is a lot helpful because both of them kind of leave stuff out. So you kind of have to like fill in the gaps. But I'll link the article below so you guys can follow along. Next, you're going to need to install Poetry, which is Python packaging and dependency management made easy. Poetry helps you declare, manage, and install dependencies of Python projects, ensuring you have the right stack everywhere. So like I said, lots of Python stuff. So you're just going to curl this URL and then pipe that Python 3. Then it is going to install Poetry for you. Down here, as you can see, it says to get started, you need Poetry's bin directory in your path environment variable. So make sure you do that because I did forget to do that, setting everything up, and then it wasn't working. And I'm like, why isn't it working? And then I had to go back through and add that. Also, you need to configure Poetry to use the specific Python version. So also put this command, which none of the documentation mentioned. So run that, and then Poetry uses Python 3.11. Then you're going to use this command. It kind of installs the prerequisites for the UI Ollama embeddings, and then the vector stores, which the vector stores is used for your documents for the RAG. So these are the prerequisites for like the privategpt UI. Then make sure you have Ollama downloaded on WSL. So just run the Linux command, curl Ollama, pool, whatever model you want to use. I'm using Llama 3.1 based on the settings.config file, but you can change that to the uncensored version if you want. So just pull whatever model of Ollama that you want to use with your privategpt. Then hopefully everything is set up right. Then you're going to run this command to run privategpt. So now privategpt is running, and then you go to the URL localhost 8001, and then your privategpt is pulled up. I changed this to say HiveMind AI. It usually says private GPT, but I edited some of the um, UI stuff. As you can see, we're using Llama 3.1 as set in the settings.config file. And you can use RAG, which, you know, from the ingested files. You can use search, find relevant chunks of text in selected files. Basic, chat with the LLM using its training data. Files are ignored, which is just like public Ollama stuff. Then summarize, create a summary of selected files. Prompt to customize the results. So I just found this PDF, a comprehensive overview of large language models. And we are uploading that to the RAG. So there it is. Click on it, type, let's see. So I just asked, what does it say about LLMs? And then it pulls out the summary and the sources. The PDF, page 26 and page 4, which is pretty cool. You can use this for your like own private documents, journal entries, emails, like literally anything. And you can just use basic. So I just ask it, what is a dog? And then it just gives me information about dogs. So pretty cool, all private. So that is how you run your own private, local, uncensored AI. The easy way and then the more complicated hard way with a bunch of different Python dependencies. So sorry if that was a lot, but it is pretty cool and hopefully you guys got something out of it. I'll link all the resources below in the description. But yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, punch all the buttons in the face, and I'll see you in the next video.